श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. So he says Brahmaloka Sahitaha Sarve Lokaha Punaravartinaha. This is the declaration, 17th shloka, 8th chapter. Brahmaloka Sahitaha. Right from the Brahmaloka. Brahmaloka means this is not the world of Brahmaji, the Brahman. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, the Trinity we say. In that Trinity, we have negated Vaikuntha, Vishnu's world. We have negated Kailasa, Shiva's world, and we are also negating Brahma's world. But this Brahmaloka is not that Brahmaloka, because this Brahmaloka is the firstborn Brahmaloka. You have to understand this. The firstborn, Hiranyagarbha, Prajapati, that is the Brahma here, not the Brahma, the creator. Okay. So all the worlds, right from the firstborn. See, these people are people who are interchangeable. We have seen that already. You can gain that position, I can gain that position. It's not a big deal. You have to perform karmas. That's the only thing. That's always a caveat. There is always a catch to anything. So here the string attached is you have to perform the proper karmas. Now, this Brahmaji whom we are talking about, he is the first Jiva. Prajapati, whatever you call. They are all fancy names for saying first Jiva. So this first Jiva, his world itself is a non-permanent, temporary. So Punaravartina, you have to come back to this mortal world. There is no doubt about it. Kasmat, why do you say so? Why should we come back to this mortal world from there, even from the world of Brahma, even after going there? Yes, because it is limited by time. Anything limited by time is limited, non-eternal. So you have to come back. You have to go somewhere. You will be coming here. That's all. That somewhere is here. Sahasra yoga paryantam aharyat brahmano viduhu ratri yoga sahasrantam teho ratra vido janaha. Now, what is this time period you are saying? Anityatva. How do you know the time? It is limited by time. I'll tell you, I know the time. People who know the time, they say, I have heard about it, so I also know the time. It says, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam, Sahasra Yuga. Sahasra means 1000, Yuga, a time period, like year, etc. This is a time period, a huge time period, that's all. Something like 12,000 years or something like that. Okay, so let us not get into all those nitty-gritties. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Vidhu. That is the day of Brahmaji. Brahmano Vidhu. Day means it is not 24 hours. You have to understand. When we say day, normally we mean it is 124 hours. Wednesday, Thursday, one day, 24 hours. But when we say day with reference to night, day and night, when I say, then it is only 12 hours, right? So that is the 12 hours day we are talking about, because Ratri Yuga Sahasrantam, the night also has the same time period. Day is 12 hours, then night is 12 hours. Similarly, if day is 1000 yugas, the night is also 1000 yugas. Simple logic. Iti, how do you know this? Iti ahoratra vido janaha vadanti. This is what people who know about the day and night, they say. The day and night, not just any day and night, the day and night of Brahmaji, they say. Manushya parimanena sahasra yoga paryantam sahasram Yugani, Chaturyugani, Varyanto, Avasanam, Yasya. With reference to the humans, Manushya Parimanina, with reference to the timeline of humans, 1000 yugas, 1000 years into something is the time period of a Brahman, Chaturyuga Varyantam. 1004 yugas means it is a 12,000 into 1,000 into 4 into something, 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 something. Okay. So that is the, and that is day. Avasanam yasya tad. Chatur yoga sahasram tu brahmanodina muchyate iti pauranika vachanam. There is, in Purana, it is very clearly said, 4,000 yugas is what is Brahma's day. Tadrisham brahmana prajapatehe ahad dinam yad ye viduhu. So people know this as the time period of daytime of Brahmaji. The people who know about the time. Tatha ratrim yuga sahasrantam chaturyuga sahasrantam sahasraparyantam ye viduhu ityanvartate. Those people who know about the time, they also know that the time of the night also is equivalent to that of the day, 4,000 yugas. Te ahoratra vidaha ta eva ahoratra vido yogina janaha. Those people who know about it is the yogis, the yogi people, not common people. The common people, we know about the day, time, etc. of our period. People who know about the daytime of even the Brahmaji, they know about this. The yogis, not us. Yetu Chandrarkana. How do you know this? Why do you say? Now you told me. I also know. You are a yogi, that's all. Otherwise, Yetu Chandra Arka Gatya Eva Viduhu Te Na Ahoratra Vidaha. See, we are not talking about people who are speaking of day and night with reference to the moon's travel and sun's travel. Like 1 week, 7 days of sun's travel, 1 week, 30 days or something, closer to 30 days, 1 month, 365 days, 1 year, like that, with reference to the sun. With reference to the moon, 1 day. Then 15 days is 1 paksha, 2 pakshas is 1 masa. Then 2 masas, again 6 masas is 1 limit, and 12 masas is a year, like that. Okay. So, we are not talking about them, because they are people with who see only, who perceive only limited time period. We are talking about people who are capable of visualizing the huge time period, the yogis. Yathoktaihi ahoratraihi pakshamasadi गणनय पूर्णं वर्षशतं प्रजापतेः यथोक्तैः अहोरात्रैः. So the aforesaid night and day, which we said, pakshamasadi gananaya, like we calculate here the same way, 15 days, then 1 month, then 1 year. In this way, purnam varshashatam prajapateः, 100 years of Prajapati. We are not talking about our 100 years. We are talking about Prajapati's 100 years, which is equivalent to 1 day. 1 day time is 1,000 years. 2 day time is 2,000 years. So it is like the scam they said about 4G in India. No, the 2G, 3G scam. 2G scam they said. It is 176. I don't know how many zeros. I don't even know how to say it. In how many lakh crores or crore lakhs, I don't even know that. So that is exactly what this will look like for a similarity. Okay. So Purnam Varsha Shatam Prajapati. But whatever it may be, 1 day maybe whatever, how many years, but that is 1 day. Similar, 15 days constitutes 1 paksha. 2 pakshas constitute 1 month, and 12 months constitute 1 year. Like that, 100 years is the life of Prajapati. That's the complete year. Shatamanam bhavati, shatayuh purushaha. That is what is the Vedic statement. One lives up to 100. 100 is not the limit. You have to die 100. No. Everyone should live till 100. No one lives till 100. People pop off earlier or little later, doesn't really matter. So that is it is a roundabout figure. Okay. So Shatamanam Bhavati, based on that, it is said Prajapati Paramayu. That is the limit. He lives only for 100 years. Okay. Now 100 years. It looks very, very huge. But let us see with reference to us. For us, that Prajapati's lifetime is huge. But for a housefly which lives only for a day, only one day its life is. For a housefly, this fellow lives for 50 years, 60 years. It will be looking at me probably and saying, 50 years this fellow lived? How can it be possible? So that is the kind of that is how we see the Prajapati. For Prajapati, today it's over, day is over. I have done whatever I have to do today. Now I am going to go to sleep. That is what his life is. Okay? So iti kala parichinnattvena. See, whether it is so many years or whatever, 100 years he is going to live of that, meaning that is limited. So since it is limited, anitya. How many ever crores of years you can say, billions and trillions and eons of years, but that is limited. So he says, Tena tallokat punaravarti yukta eva. Therefore, since it is limited, he has to come and somebody has to come. Whoever stays there has to come to the other world after their experience, enjoyment. Yetu tato arvachinaha desham. We are not talking about, you have to understand that. We are not talking about the people who realize there. For people who go there after performing the upasanas properly and reach there and gain the knowledge there, they don't come back. Okay, but people who have performed the karmas, who took the shortcut of performing the karmas to reach the Brahmaloka and stay there, they can stay only, their visa is only limited to this creation. Like it was said in the previous shloka. Iti iha, the final line of the previous shloka. Iti iha imam iti cha visheshat Gamanadhikarana kalpad anyatra punaravarti pratiyate. So this kalpa he will stay there. The next kalpa he will be coming back. There is no option for him. So there is no choice for him. Yetu tato arvachinaha. See, the world of Brahma, Prajapati, Hiranyagarbha itself is limited. Then the world which are below it, arvachinaha, with the worlds which are not equivalent to it or not above it, those worlds which are below it, they tesham tad ahar matra parichinnatvad tattallokebhya punaravarti kim vaktavim. They are all creations only for a daytime of Brahmaji. And should we even talk about their limited time? They will be coming back definitely. अव्यक्ताद्व्यक्तयः सर्वाः प्रभवन्त्यः रागमे रात्र्यागमे प्रलीयन्ते तत्रैव अव्यक्तसंज्ञके. अव्यक्तात् व्यक्तयः सर्वाः प्रभवन्ति अहरागमे रात्र्यागमे प्रलीयन्ते तत्रैव अव्यक्तसंज्ञके. Avyakta, from the avyakta, from the unmanifest. We are not talking about the unmanifest avyakta, which is ignorance, avidya, because avidya is also given the name avyakta. You are not talking about that. Vyaktayah sarve, all those manifestations, they manifest from the avyakta. You can stretch it a little bit and say that avyakta, but we are talking about the avyakta vritti of the avidya vritti of, not the avidya, the avidya vritti of the Hiranyagarbha. That is the avyakta here. Okay, you will understand it. Vyaktaya means these things which have manifested. Sarva, all these things, prabhavanti, they become manifest. Aharagame, when the daytime comes. Ratriyagame, when the night comes. Praliyante, they merge in their cause. Tatraiva avyakta sankhya, in that very avyakta. Atra dainandana srishti pralayoho eva vaktum upakrantatvad. See, we are talking about the daily creation of a Prajapati. Therefore, tatra cha akashadinam sattvat, and in that creation you see the creations of ether, space, etc. This whole thing. Therefore, avyakta shabdena avyakrita avastha nauchyate. We are not referring to the avyakrita, the ignorance, as avyakta. Normally, when I say avyakta, avyakrta, avidya, all that maya, chaya, etc., I counted 26 names from Shvetashwara Upanishad Bhashya. So we are not referring to them. So, kintu prajapatehe swapavastha eva. When I say avyakta, it is the sleep time of Prajapati. That is why I translate it as avidya vritti. Because what is sleep? Avidya vritti. That is why I come out of sleep and say, I slept very peacefully. There is avidya vritti, that thought function of ignorance. Okay? Swapavastaha prajapatiriti yavat. The deep sleep of Prajapati. That's the idea. Aharagame prajapatehe prabodha samaye. Aharagame means when the Prajapati wakes up from the sleep. Avyaktat tat swapa avastha rupat vyaktayah sharira vishayadi rupaha bhoga bhumayah. This whole creation of experience, it manifests when he wakes up. All these things, the body, sense, organ complex, and the experiences thereof, they all prabhavanti, they all come into existence. Vyavahara kshamataya bhivajyante. They manifest for the transaction, capable of being able to transact. That state they gain. Ratriyagame tasya swapakale purvoktaha sarvaha api vyaktayah praliyante. When the night comes, all these manifested things, they merge. Where do they merge? Tiro bhavanti, they disappear. Yataha avibhutaha tatraiva avyakta sanyake karane prayukte, in from which they manifested into that very cause they merge. See, when the creation comes, it comes from the material cause. When it merges, it also merges in the material cause. It cannot merge in anything else other than the material cause. Therefore, swapavasthe prajapatehe. In the Prajapati's night time, they merge in their material cause. What is the material cause for all this? Ignorance. Not the ignorance or ignorance. Ignorance vritti of the Prajapati. That in which they merge. Okay? Evam आशु विनाशित्वे अपि संसारस्य न निवृत्तिः. क्लेशकर्मादिभिः अवशतया पुनः पुनः प्रादुर्भवत्. See, आशु विनाशतया. Ashu means शीघ्रं, quick. Vinashataya, it gets destroyed quickly. Not quickly. It is not quickly for us, but it is only a daytime for Prajapati. You have to think from the Prajapati standpoint. Okay? Just he sees and it disappears. Oh, like for us, in the deep sleep, there is no world, there is no creation. It disappears. So, this is the situation for Prajapati also. But next day, it continues. Maybe for Prajapati also, it is the same. How do you know it doesn't continue? Where we left, it continues. It's probably same for Prajapati. We'll see that also. Samsara se nivritti, but still there is no nivritti of samsara. Though, even though when everything merges in that Prajapati, the samsara does not disappear. The samsara stays. Why? Klesha karma adivihi avashataya. Because we are under the control of the klesha karma, kama, avidya, kama, karma. That is under which we are in control. Avidya, kama, karma is the state, is the words which Bhagavan Bhashyakara uses. He is using klesha karma adi. That is based on the Yoga Sutra. Avidya, smitaragat, dvesha, viniveshaha, pancha kleshaha. So klishtaha. Like that, he explained the kleshas. So that klesha and the karma because of that klesha, whatever we perform, because of this klesha and karma, we are born again and again. Pradurbhavat. Pradurbutasya cha punah punah klesha adivasheneva tirobhavat. And because of this very klesha, we again merge in that. Because of the klesha, we manifest. Because of the klesha, we merge. So, therefore, there is no escape. Samsare, people, because this has to be said, because some people say, oh, after 100 years, 1000 years, whatever it may be, I'm going to go, there is no me, right? Maybe I am born again and again till 1000 years, then there can be no me, right? No, you will be me in the next creation also. Next creation. That is why he says, samsare viparivartamananam sarveshaamapi praninam aswatantriyat avashanam eva janana maranadi dukkha prabandha sambandhat. See, whoever is born in the samsara, these people who transact in the samsara, for everyone, you, everyone, praninam, all the beings, aswatantriya, they are not independent, they are dependent upon their karmas. Therefore, avashanameva, because they are not under their control, they are under the control of someone else. Therefore, janma maranadi dukkha sambandhat, they are associated with this birth and death cycle. Therefore, alam anena samsarena iti. Oh, enough of this. How many times I have to go and come and go and come and go and come? I'm fed up with all this. With this kind of a vairagya utpatyartham, for this vairagya to spring, this vairagya to come, to be gained, samana nama rupatvena eva samana ramatrupattvena cha punah pradurbhavat. With the same name, etc., he is coming back again and again. Pradurbhavat. Kritanasha krita abhyagam pariharatam cha. There is no kritanasha and akrita abhyagama defects. Kritanasha means whatever I did, it is lost. Whatever I didn't do, I am experiencing those punya and papas. So that kind of defects will not be there. See, we go to sleep, the world is dead. The world is merged. They does not exist. I open my eyes, the world manifests. Similarly for the Brahma, wherever we left, we start from there. For Brahma also, it is the same. That is why he says, samana nama rupa. The same name and form we will have in the next creation. There is no change in it. So there is no defect of whatever I did, I lost. The punya and papa, I did, I lost. Whatever punya, papa and I didn't do, I am experiencing that. This is unfair. So that kind of a logic cannot be applied here. Okay? Bhutagramas evayam bhutva pradiyate ratriagame avashaha partha prabhatyah ragame. Bhutagramaha sa eva ayam bhutva priliyate ratriagame avashaha he partha prabhatyah ragame. Bhutagramaha means this whole group of things, all these beings, bhuta, all these beings. Sa eva ayam bhutagramaha, all these very beings, things, bhutva praliyate, again and again they manifest and they merge. When ratri agame, at the time of night they merge. When the day starts, what happens? Avashaha, without they being under their control, partha prabhavatya haragame, they manifest when the day comes. They are not in control of the birth and death. When the night comes, they merge. When the day comes, they manifest. That's the idea. Bhutagramaha, bhuta samudaya. Stavara jangama lakshanaha. We are not talking about, see, if you want to talk about Ekajeva, we can say about the individual creation. If you want to talk about the creation of Prajapati, that also 1,000 years, that kind of stories you can believe in. That not there's no big deal actually here. So anyway, only after realization you are going to escape from the cycle. So that is common there. Stavara jangama lakshana. Bhuta grama means bhuta samudaya. Grama means samudaya, the group. Which kind of group are talking about? This group of movables and immovables. So stavara, immovables, jangama, movables. So the plant, etc., and the animals, etc. Yaha purvasmin kalpestha, that which existed in the previous kalpa, in the previous cycle of creation. Sa eva ayam etasmin kalpe jayamano api. That very thing manifests in this kalpa also, in this creation also. The pot in the previous kalpa is the pot here in this kalpa also. It doesn't differ. That is why you have to understand. Vedas are eternal, right? The Purvamams accept, we accept the knowledge of Vedas is external. And that is why we, one second. Natu pratikalpam anyo anyascha. In every kalpa, they don't differ. They are same. Asat Karyavadanabhyumat. We don't accept Asat Karyavada. Everything springs up from Asat. We don't accept that. We accept Sat Karyavada. Everything was unmanifest. It manifests. That's all. From the unmanifest state, it manifests. That's all we accept. Okay. Surya Chandramasau Dhata Yatha Purma Kalpayat Divam Chaprithvi Cha Antariksham Antarikshamatho Swaha Iti Shruti. The Shruti also very clearly says. We refer to only one portion of this Vedas normally. Dhata Yatha Purma Kalpayat. That's only what we say. Dhata Yatha Purum Akalpayat. Dhata, the creator. Dhata means the creator. Yatha Purum, as it was earlier, Akalpayat, created, manifested things. What things? Surya, Chandramahu, the sun and moon. Divam, the day. Prithvi, the earth. Antariksham, the in-between world. Or Swaha, the Swarga. All this were as it was in the previous creation. He uses the guidebook of Vedas, which is there as knowledge for him, and he uses that for creation. Okay, so now what is the big deal here? See, Vedas, in Vedas it is said Ashpalayana, Gargi, with the names which we know, Bhrigu, etc. These people were in the previous Kalpa, not in this Kalpa. So why do you want to teach us the Bhrigu and Varuna, etc., all those stories? No. History repeats itself. Dhata yatha puram akalpayat. That is the idea. So in every Kalpa, you will be you and I will be I will be there to teach you until you don't realize. In my form, somebody will be there. That's the only thing. Iti Surya Chandrama. So Divam cha Prithvi cha Antariksham. All these creations will be there. Samana Nama Rupatvad Avruttau api avirodaha darshna smutescha. Samana Nama Rupatvad. There, since there is name and form are similar, Avrutto api avirodaha. Even if he comes back, there is no contradiction. Darshanat Smrtesha. The Shruti also shows this and Smrti also shows this. This is the Brahma Sutra. It is Nyayacha. Brahma Sutra also says this. Avashaha iti avidya kama karmadi paratantraha. Avashaha, he is not under his control. He is not independent. What is he dependent upon? Avidya kama karma, of course. The ignorance, the desires, etc. and the action because of them. So that is what he is bound by. Bhagavan Bhashikara's words. He cannot miss it. Hey Partha, Spashtamitrata. Oh Partha, the rest are very clear. We don't need to comment upon it. Evam Avashana Utpatti Vinasha Pradarshana A Brahma Bhuvana Lokaha Punaravartino Avartina Iti Etat Vyakyatam. So by saying that all of us are not independent, we are all dependent on the avidya kama karma. By saying this, the first portion of what is that? Brahma Bhavana Lokaha Punaravartina Arjuna. Hey Arjuna, from the Brahman's world, all this creation, they are all in the circle of samsara. They cannot escape the circle of samsara. That is established. Iti Vyakyatam. Arjuna, now that text is over, right? No. Arjuna, now, Mamupetya Punarjanmana Vidyate iti etat vyachashte dvabhyam. With 2 shlokas, Mamupetya, after gaining me, you don't come back. Na punaravrti. There is no coming back. That is going to be said. Paras tasmatu bhavonyaha avyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yas sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. Paraha tasmatu bhavaha anyaha avyaktaha avyaktat sanatanaha yaha saha sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. Paraha, tasmatu paraha, something that is different from the other. What is the other? Avyaktaha. Then the avyakta. That which is unmanifest. Avyaktat. Avyaktat, avyakta. It is unmanifest, then the unmanifest. It is the cause for the unmanifestation, etc. Substratum for the unmanifest. unmanifestation, etc. That sanatana, that is different from this. Anyaha, that is why it is said. Sanatana, it is eternal. That is why we call this Sanatana Dharma. It is eternal Dharma. So there is no point in worrying about this. Here or somewhere there is always this Dharma. Yahasa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu navinashyate. That which exists, this Sanatana, this self, in every being, that which undergoes decay and death, in that it does not die. It lives eternally. This self lives eternally. It does not get destroyed. Tasmat charachara sthula prapancha karanabhutat. Therefore, tasmat means from all this, the cause for all this sthula prapancha, this gross creation, which is both movable and immovable. Charachara. Chara means movable, achara means immovable. Both movable and immovable. In that, Hiranyagarbhakshyat, which is called as Hiranyagarbha, his world we are living in, right? Akyat, Avyakta, that which is the unmanifest state. Paraha, Vetiriktaha, something which is different from that unmanifested state of Hiranyagarbha, because Sreshtaha, that which is superior. Paraha means different, which is the cause, therefore it is superior. Va tasyapi karanabhutha, that which is the cause that exists. That which is cause for the Hiranyagarbha also. Vetiriktepi salaksham sat. What is the big difference? Like there is rupee note, there is euro, there is yen, there is dollar, etc. $1, dollar is equal to 70 rupees or something, and 50 rupees or something sometimes, and the 80 rupees or something other times. It changes. But this is also paper, that is also a different paper. That's all, right? So what is the big deal? I was saying, I remember this funny story of this hypocrite. He is not a sadhu actually. He is chosen to be celibate, and these people come there and stay there for some time. After earning money, they give up the position and put someone else. That is how they do. So I don't want to name the place and things like that. This fellow, a very cunning fellow, this fellow is. So people come to him because of the position, they come to him, and they place money, like they do donations, they place donations, etc. He'll pick up one fresh note, 500,000, 2,000, whatever it is. He'll just use it as a fan and say, what is this? This is just simple paper. We are giving so much of importance to this simple paper. He'll crush it and throw it outside the window. He'll just throw it outside the window. People will be like in awe. Oh, he threw that money outside the window. And they'll be in awe of his vairagya. This fellow is a hypocrite. He does not have any vairagya. And mind you, vairagya is not something to be displayed. It should be there in you. Okay? Now, after everyone leaves, he'll call his assistant. Go outside the window. So the window is not with grills and all. So if you open, it is open. Go outside the window, jump outside. Jump outside means 3 feet or something, 3 feet or 2 feet. There is a parapet. There is a wall. There is a landing there. In that landing, whatever he throws will be falling. He knows that. Knowing that, he is throwing it. And these idiots, they don't know that he is throwing it on that surface. They think he has thrown it out of the window. I saw it with my own eyes. What did you see? He didn't throw it outside so that someone else can take it. He threw it so that he can take it later. So that is the idea. So it's that I remember this. Mam upet. So Sreshtaha tasyapi karanavata. Even cause for that. Vetiriktaha salakshanya. Now with reference to that, I remember. See, money. This money, rupee. That money, dollar. Okay, it's money, right? So they are similar. It's costly or less costly, that does not really make any difference. They are similar, right? So with reference to that, Vetiriktepi is alaksham syaditi. Some people may have doubt. Maybe they are different, but they are similar, right? That is avyakta, this is avyakta, they are similar. If you say na ityaha anyo atyanta vilakshana, it is completely entirely different from this. Na tasya pratimasti iti shruti. The shruti also very clearly says there is no form for it, there is no attributes for it. Avyaktaha रूपादिहीनतया चक्षुरादि अगोचरः भावः कल्पितेषु सर्वेषु कार्येषु सद्रूपेण. So avyaktaha means it is unmanifest, means does not have any form etc. to be objectified, to be perceived through sense organs, eyes etc. Bhava means it is the existence. It is the existence, not the form. Bhava means it's the existence for that which gives existence for all the things which exist here in this world as is. I can say pot is. I can show what pot. I can show pot, but I cannot show the isness there. So that isness is the self. Ata eva sanatana nitya. That is why it is called as sanatana. Sanatana means eternal. Nityaha. Tu shabdaha. हेयाद अनित्याद अव्यक्ताद उपादेय अव्यक्ताद उपादेयत्वं नित्यस्य अव्यक्तस्य वैलक्षण्यं सूचयति. The two is a differentiator. इतर व्यावर्तन differentiated from something else. Differentiated from what? The avyakta from the avyakta. The avyakta which is limited to the avyakta which is unlimited. Okay, both are referred to as avyakta. Remember. That avyakta of a sleep of Hiranyagarbha also is referred to as avyakta. Sleep of Hiranyagarbha is also referred to as avyakta. Ignorance is also referred to as avyakta. And this avyakta is the self. Unmanifest is the self. Etadrisho yo bhavaha sa Hiranyagarbha iva sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu api na vinashyati. This existence, though it exists in every being, right from the Hiranyagarbha, who die, who have a limited period, but still this avyakta does not die. It does not get extinguished, annihilated. Utpadhyamaneshu api na utpadyate. In whatever that is being manifest, that is created, it does not get created along with them. हिरण्यगर्भस्य तु कार्यस्य भूत अभिमानित्वात् तत् उत्पत्ति विनाशाभ्याम युक्तौ एव उत्पत्ति विनाशो. But Hiranyagarbha, you can say Hiranyagarbha manifests, Hiranyagarbha is born, Hiranyagarbha dies. How can you say that? Because he has identification with whatever is born and whatever dies. Everything. He identifies himself with everything. So if he identifies himself with everything, if a portion of something gets extinguished, it is annihilated, it's completely destroyed, then it is part of him, therefore he also is getting destroyed. So that is the idea. That is logical. Therefore iti utpatti vinasho nato tad anabhimanino akaryasya parameshwarasya iti. But the Parameshwara, the self, who does not have any identification with the creation, any association with the creation, you cannot call him to be born and die. He is not born, he never dies, because there is no identification with the birth and death of anything. Iti avyaktoksara ityuktaha tam ahuh paramam gatim yam prapya na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. Avyaktaha aksharaha. This avyakta is what is referred to as aksharaha, undecaying. Ityuktaha, it is said. Tam ahu paramam gatim. That is what is referred to as the absolute state. Yam prapya na nivartante. After gaining which one does not come back. Tat dhama paramam mama. That is my absolute state. Okay. Yo bhavaha iha avyakta iti akshara iti cha uktaha. That which existence which is referred to as avyakta, akshara, etc. Anyatrapi shrutishu smritishu cha. And in other places, in other smritis and other shrutis, which is said, tam bhav mahu shrutaya smritayas cha puna purushanna param kinchit na sa kashta sa paragati ityadya. That is the existence which the shruti and smriti, etc. declare as a purushat na param kinchit. There is nothing superior to the purusha. Sa kashtha sa paragati. That is the limit. That is where everything merges into. Paragati, that is the absolute abode. Ityadya. Paramam utpatti vinasha shunya swaprakasha paramananda rupam gatim. Paramam gatim means paramam. What is paramam? It is the self-effulgent absolute bliss which does not have any existence or destruction. That gati means purushartha vishrantim. Gati means not reaching, gaining. Gati means where the purushartha, the human pursuit, comes to an end. That is the gati. Yam bhavam prapya na punar nivartante samsaraya tadhama paramam mama surupam mama vishno param swarabhautkashtam. So gaining which they don't come back to where? The samsara. That is the absolute state. Tadhama means tat surupam. That is my inherent nature. Mama means me, means Vishnu. Me Vishnu. Who is Vishnu? Paramam sarvotkashtam dhama. That is the state. Dhama means, like yesterday I said, bhavana means house. Dhama also means house. So that is my house. Means that is my Vaikunta. So you should not interpret this as a tadhama paramamama. Once you reach Vaikunta, you don't come back. That should not be how you interpret it. Why? It is not a place to reach. That is why he says gati means the end of going and coming, the end of travel. Why do you have to say this? He says mama dhamaiti rahoho shiraiti vad bheda kalpanaya sashti. Sixth case, yesterday we saw in the 16th sloka. In the 14th sloka, atra tasyeti sashti sheshe sambandha samani. Sashti sheshe. The sixth case is declared with that sutra, and that sixth case is with reference to association. Rama's pen. I gave this example, right? So this thing belongs to someone. There is a relationship. That relationship is declared through sixth case. So something which is different from him is related. So that is my dhama. That is my place. Means Vishnu and my place, we are related. There is an association of something different from me. That should not be the understanding, because sixth case, though is in relationship, it need not always be in relation, in pointing out to the relationship between two different things. It can also sometimes mean two different things, non-different things, identical things. How? Rahoho shiraha. This Rahu shiraha, Rahu is the head. This is the common usage. Rahu is the head portion of the demon. So the tail portion is Ketu, the nodal points they say in the astrology. So Rahu is the head portion. Rahu's head. There is no point in saying Rahu's head. Rahu is head. So like you use the statement Rahu's head, similarly here also. Itivat abheda kalpanaya srishti. There is a imagination of duality, and we use the sixth case. There is no real duality. When I say mama dhama, okay, ato ahameva paramam gatim ityartha. Therefore the idea is I am the absolute abode. I am the absolute existence. I am the absolute state which you have to gain. There is nothing other than me. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.